Well, g'day again, friends and viewers. Okay, I'm just going to run through the process of doing a static timing or pre-start timing. This is what you would do if you've had your engine apart or your distributor out, etc., etc. This is initial timing prior to starting it up. Of course, after you get it running, you then run your time light on it again whilst it's running with the vacuum cord hose off and plugged up. Anyway, we'll do that later. So, right, first thing we've got to do, we'll pop the distributor cap. There's several ways of finding number one on the compression stroke, but this is the easiest way. Okay. Right, pop your cap off. Right, this is number one lead here. Normally it would be around here. I dropped the distributor in and I was a tooth out, and then it didn't want to come out again. I didn't want to force it, and it doesn't really matter as long as you've got enough room to be able to turn it. And yeah, I've still got enough room to be able to turn it, set the timer, so it doesn't really matter. It just means that the distributor's turned a bit more one way than what it would normally be. So other than that, doesn't really make any difference. Okay, we're already pointing at number one, so yeah, we're pretty close to it. So I've got 30mm ring. Put that on the crank, and got a time mark here. I've marked it on the outside as well. That's for when I'm doing valve clearance, because number one and number 1 and 4 are at top dead center, and 2 and 3 are at bottom dead center. So that's why I marked it on the outside there, so that I can see when it's at the bottom. Anyway, so you turn that around. I'm in gear. I'll take it out of gear. Car's moving. Okay. So you line that mark up. There's 2 marks on here. One is your top dead center and the other is your timing mark. Your timing mark is the one to the right, and like it's spinning clockwise, so the timing mark is ahead of the top dead center mark, your firing mark, and you line that up with the joint in your casings. Okay, so now we've got that right. There's 2 ways of doing this. I'm going to do it with the time light, but you can also do it with the cap off. You can just watch for a spark at the points. And I got a time light here, so I'll do it with the time light. Make sure this is engaged properly. There we are. Now it's it. Yeah. If it's not in properly, you'll have trouble getting your clips on. So it's got a little notch in the cap that has to engage in the distributor. Right, so back off our distributor clamp. Okay, now I'm going to fully retard this. Okay, so your rotor's turning this way, your rotor's going clockwise. So anti-clockwise is advance and clockwise is retarding it. So I'm going to fully retard it as far as it'll go. And hook up the time light. I used to hook it to the the generator and dynamo. Generator's what's called. But I've been having issues with the generator. On and off it's been working intermittently, so decided to stop hooking it to that and interfering with it. So anyway, I've got a I've got a plug up here. That's a 2-pin female plug. I've taken the bottom connector out and I've just run a bit of metal through it that I've drilled a hole through and bent it over at the front. That's why it's taped up too, so just to make sure it doesn't short on it. But yeah, bolted that to the casing. That mount was welded on there because I had the air filter over there and I had another cover coming off, a rain cover. But anyway, so I bolted that onto there. That runs direct to the battery lead on the starter motor. You got your the lead for the inductive pickup on your timing light, and it has an arrow of which way it has to go to the spark plug. So yeah, put that on number 1 and make sure the thing is not, you don't connect it up here where it's also going to be resting against number 2, or you'll get a false reading. Earth, yeah, best places on the engine. So connect that there, put a paint there, yeah. So, yeah, look at that here. So if it'll stay on there. Right, there's a better spot. At the moment, it won't be a good spot when I fire it up because it's nice touching exhaust. Right, the other one there, so I've just soldered a male blade plug onto the end of my clamp. It's still open, I can still clamp it onto a battery if I use it on another car. I mean, it's the only vehicle I use it on nowadays anyway. But, oh, no, I used it on the panel here, yeah, I suppose. Right, so plug that in there. I'm going to turn the ignition on. Okay. Set this up here. Hopefully, we'll sit there, we'll sit there. No, we'll sit there. We'll sit there, let's prove. Come on, sit there somewhere. There we go. Oh. So we've already fully retarded it, so I'm going to turn it. I'm going to be in the way of the camera if I get a comfortable position. Come on, stay up there. Right. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this very slowly, trying to keep out of the way of the camera. And yeah, if it's very slowly, which is anti-clockwise. There you go, it flashes. I think I was going a little bit past that, so I'll do it again. I'll try and, as I said, you do it very slowly to try and, so you can stop exactly when it flashes. That's it. There you go. There's your static timing done. It will start and run in that position. Yeah. As I said, I will fire it up and check it again, and also check the advancement. But I've got a couple of things I've got to do first. The actual advanced mechanism is getting a bit sticky in the distributor, so I'm going to clean that out a little bit. I'm just going to spray it with some Carby Clean and then blow it out with air. I'm not going to take it out. And then, yeah, and then I'll spray a bit of WD on the moving mechanisms. I'm also going to re-grease, which I'll show you. Take this cap off again. Get that out of the way too. And I should go and turn the ignition off. It doesn't do to leave your ignition on. Especially on a point system where it's now set where the point's just starting to open. So yeah, if you leave your ignition on for too long, you'll burn your points up. Yeah. And take the button off. So as I said, it's a bit sticky in there, so I'm going to clean it and spray a bit of WD on it, and then I'm going to re-grease. See the cam here where you, it feels greasy. Yeah, okay. That should always have a little bit of grease on it. This cam where your points run. because if you don't, you wear out the runner on your points. So anyway, I'm going to go about doing that. It's also not idling very well at the moment either. And I had the manifold off sitting over in the corner of the shed for weeks, and I didn't think to sit the air filter back on top of it, so, and which exposes all the idle circuits. And so, yeah, I'm going to have to do a carby clean as well. And but yeah, we'll get that. I've had it running. Yeah, when I ran the cam in, you're supposed to, they suggest that you run it for half an hour, like new cam, new lifters. They want you to run it for half an hour at 2,000 revs. And of course on a Volkswagen, which doesn't have a tacho, yeah, 2,000 revs is a guess, so I've taken it sort of just above idle, a little bit above idle. But everyone just run it for half an hour, so that's another issue with an air-cooled engine. It's different to an engine. A water-cooled engine's got cooling in it. Without driving it, you don't have the airflow that's required to keep your engine cool. If you just sit stationary, even though it's got the fan and everything, and I've improved on the fan as well. I improved on it by pulling out the heater ducts completely because I won't be using them. But it's still going to get too hot, sitting stationary. So, yeah, for that reason, when I was running the cam and I just did it, 5 minutes and then let it rest for 10, cool down, and then did it for another 5, and so on. On the initial, when I first fired it up, like, it was very tight. And it was tight after I put the cam in, because I checked it all with the crank, that was fine. But after I put the cam in, and then I glued all the casings together, and it was a bit, like, it was turning, but it was a bit tighter than I was happy with. But because there's so much gluing and so many bolts, I didn't want to pull it all apart again. So I left it as is, and anyway, as I said, in the initial 5 minutes of running, after about 5 minutes, it did sound like it was in the process of seizing. It was started to slow down a little bit, so I switched it off. And then I came out and I turned it over a few times by hand, felt okay, let it cool down, and didn't have an issue again afterwards. So I said, probably one of the cam bearings didn't have quite enough clearance or something, or might have had a little bit of dirt stuck underneath it or something that I didn't notice or something. Anyway, but it's sorted itself out. It's running freely. It runs smooth. There's no knocks, rattles, anything like that. Lifters are all quiet. So I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty confident that it's going to do the job for a little while, and I will be pulling it apart again. I've got a solution in mind for the casing wear, and if I can afford to, I'm going to go a longer stroke crank, which are also counterbalance, which are better for your casings anyway, because they're not impacting them as much. And I might even go a bigger camshaft. Like, this is a performance cam, but it's the smallest performance cam I could get. I didn't want to go big at this stage until I had the bottom end sorted out completely. So there'll be another build. Should unplug that as well, because that's drawing power out of my battery constantly. And, anyway, we'll leave this video there, and I'm gonna go about cleaning me and reel and my distributor, and then I'm gonna do a carby clean, and then I'll fire it up and I'll check all the timing again, check the advancement and everything with the timing light. But Yeah. So, yeah, basically I just wanted to show you how to do an initial timing for a startup. So, alright, well, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you next time. Bye.